Welcome to Media Minutes. I'm Darren Woolley.
And I'm Stephen Wright.
In the next few minutes, we'll share with you our view on the importance of transparency in media. Stephen?
Yes, Darren, transparency, the buzzword of 2019, which for some advertisers has now become the key measure of their relationship with their media agency.
So, how achievable is transparency today? The industry outrage a few years ago suggested things were murky and opaque at best.
Yes, things were murky, and after the ANA expose, a number of the agencies pushed back and defended their right to a lack of transparency and accountability about the margin they took.
And how was that received by advertisers?
Not at all well, and very quickly the media groups realised they had to come to the table and address the issue.
So where are we now, Stephen? With how much transparency do advertisers now operate?
We're in a much better space now. All the agencies preach transparency and have contract templates that provide a high level of transparency.
So it's job done, transparency achieved.
Well, yes and no. To achieve transparency, you need to have a contract template that provides guarantees of that transparency. And what we see is a lot of advertisers who have a generic supplier contract template that simply doesn't do that.
Okay, so what are these agreements lacking?
Well, for starters, a very robust definition around remuneration, commissions and rebates. And then after that, they need to cover structure, data, audit rights, a whole variety of factors.
So what you're saying is that if you haven't updated your contract recently, you have no guarantee of transparency.
That's right, Darren. But there will always be one or two areas where it's impossible to have a guarantee of full transparency.
What are these areas then, Stephen? And more importantly, should these be a concern for advertisers?
The digital industry is now dominated by a number of key global players. Media groups operate on a global basis. It makes sense for these two parties to do deals on a global or regional basis. And these deals are huge in volume. And in doing that, they deliver additional commissions and rebates to the media agency groups.
So it should be a concern for advertisers.
Not really. In many cases, the deal delivers such a competitive rate that it's much better than the agency can achieve in that market. So it's a win-win situation. The agency may earn extra commissions, but the client is getting a much lower rate than they could otherwise achieve.
So full and complete transparency is a utopian ideal then. But what can now be achieved is perfectly acceptable?
I believe so, Darren. What we now see is a lot of advertisers working with their media agencies to very good effect. For these advertisers, a preoccupation with transparency is an unnecessary distraction.
Thank you, Stephen. That's very encouraging. And we encourage you to subscribe to Media Minutes, a weekly snack on all things media. Until then, I'm Darren Woolley and he's
Stephen Wright.
And this is
Media Minutes.